to The Kurt Locker, a podcast where we chronologically step through and discuss the films of Kurt Russell. My name is Andrew Gormley, and I am one of your hosts. I am joined on this episode by my co-hosts. She wishes she hasn't even heard of Dakota, Whitney Nelsen.
That's me.
And she also considers the summer kitchen to be part of the house. Lindsey Nelsen joins us.
I do.
The old summer kitchen.
All kitchens are part of the house. Yeah.
That is the first time that I had heard that phrased as such. I was unaware that was the phrasing for that, so I learned something.
Yeah. I used to do a lot of, when we used to be living historians, Whitney and I did a lot of demonstrations in the summer kitchen. It's because the kitchens were the number one cause of house fires. So any time of the year where you could do your kitchen stuff outside of the house,
it makes a lot of sense. It was a lot more dangerous to light a fire in your house back then, I imagine. So yeah, let's take this outside.
Absolutely.
It'll be a stone oven or whatever. It's great. This is our fourth Kurt Russell film. And our first guest, Lindsey, it's great to have you.
Hello.
I would love to...
It's great to be here.
I'm going to get into the rigmarole, but something to keep in your mind for both of you also. You two had both seen this prior. This is like you're like revisiting this movie.
Mm-hmm. Many moons ago.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I seem to remember you both saying that you had fond memories of this film.
Boy, was this a ride to rewatch.
So,
yeah.
When we get to the part where we talk about our feelings, just think about. I would just love a little bit of perspective about then versus now.
Oh, you're gonna get a lot of perspective of then versus now.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Have no fear, Andrew. That's on the agenda.
Because I was like, just keep it in the back of our minds. But I clearly didn't even have to say anything, so this is great.
What? So here's the thing that I wrote in my notes, and obviously we'll talk more about it when we get there, but I wrote in my notes that the title for this should be Come Get Your Racist Grandpa the Movie.
Great. Oh my God. It's very exciting. Good. Classic Disney. You know what I'm saying? Literally classic Disney. Okay. As always, I want to mention you can find our podcasts and our website at 12and24.com. That's 12and24.com. You can email us kurtlockerpod@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter at kurtlockerpod. I did this really neat thing. I was like experimenting with our episodes here. As you're listening to this part of the episode, if you're using like a modern podcast player like Overcast or Pocket Cast or any of those situations, you can actually just like tap on the artwork and it'll take you to our Discord, which I'm going to encourage you to join anyway right now. But yeah, if you can check us out on Discord. We chat in real time. We hang out. It's pretty great. That's 12and24.com/Discord.
Claire's going to teach me about spinning yarn.
Claire is going, yes, we're going to learn. We're going to laugh. We're going to learn. It's going to be great. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. And then finally, if you want to support us with just a moment of your time, you could share the show with your friends, rate and review us on iTunes, bring more folks into the fray. As I've said on our previous episode, we're just kind of getting the ball rolling, so I understand that it's going to be slow. The same thing happened with Keanu, but as we move forward, right now we have five-star reviews. No, one of them written, but the rest are all 5 stars. So, and I didn't even rate our own show this time, unlike Keanu, which I did as soon as it hit the store.
I also did Keanu, yeah. I should do that. I should write us a review. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, it's true. I rated you guys on Cool Breeze before I was ever a guest host, so that's a little bit more legitimate, but it's still...
It works out. I'm okay with like a little bit of nepotism, a little bit of favoritism. It's okay. I can stand behind that.
Listen, if you can't toot your own horn, whose can you toot?
Right. You have to believe in yourself. Is
exactly.
what I always say. Mm-hmm. So that's it for that stuff. Lindsey, if you could, I would love for you to tell us why we're here today.
All right. Well, today we are talking about the film The One and Only Genuine Original Family Band. Yes. Say it as they would say it, you know. So the plot synopsis from Rotten Tomatoes is a Democrat, played by Walter Brennan, and his Republican clan enliven the 1888 presidential race between Grover Cleveland and Benjamin Harrison. This movie was written by Lowell S. Hockley and directed by Michael O.
Hurley.
Hawley? Oh, yeah.
I didn't know how to pronounce that last week either, so don't worry.
Who also, as Andrew just mentioned, directed last week's film, Mosby's Marauders. So he's clearly in the Disney, block of talent at the time. Co-starring right alongside Kurt is a sizable ensemble cast, including Walter Brennan, Buddy Epson, Leslie Ann Warren, John Davidson.
I was reading ahead to the reviews that you pulled. Sorry, Lindsay, go ahead.
Leslie Ann Warren, John Davidson, Janet Blair, Bobby Rhea, and John Welmsley. Yeah, that's how I'm going to say that. And what do critics and audiences have to say about this, Whitney?
All right. Well, we have no critical score on Rotten Tomatoes
Surprise.
and a 62% audience score. Critic Renata Adler of the New York Times, written in 1968, March 22nd of 1968. Renata says, the one and only genuine original family band is about as pepless and fizzled a musical as has ever come out of the Walt Disney Studios.
Wow. At the time.
Here is what made me laugh so hard. Is user Aaron Trites gave it 2 out of 5 stars and says the best musical I've ever seen about the impact of the 1888 U.S. presidential election on the Dakota Territories.
Thank you, Aaron.
I think that's probably true.
I think that's probably true, Aaron. Yeah.
2 out of 5. That all seems fair. It all seems fair.
Yeah. It is also the best musical I've ever seen about the impact of the 1888 U.S. presidential election on the Dakota
Hands down.
Territories.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree on this.
Oh, that tickles me.
There were a lot of other reviews, and I'm happy I just clicked an extra page to find that one. I was like, this is the one we're going to use. Okay.
That's gold. Yeah.
So I would love for either of you to start with this, because I'm coming in fresh to this one. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I have no reference point for this. So
Having some kind of breakdown.
Well, yeah. I think Whitney and I had some very similar reactions rewatching this because we were texting each other and we had basically the same reactions, which was, first of all, how on earth do we still know all the words to all these songs? If you had put a gun to my head before I rewatched this, because I don't think I've seen this since I was like 8, I could not have named a single song.
That's what I was saying. I literally believe neither of us has listened to this or watched it in 30 years. How?
And yet, as soon as they started playing, I knew all of the words.
Could totally don't rock your boat. Don't rock the boat. Give him your vote. Give your vote to the man who's the leader of men. It's literally clear as day, like I had listened to it yesterday. Yeah. Why is the Grover Cleveland song dormant in my head for 30 years?
It pierced through.
Why could I sing it?
You got it into long-term memory.
I had heard it yesterday. I did. It's the only thing there.
I mean, I think without the music, the Grover Cleveland song is the easiest one to re-sing. But I remembered like their opening song of
the Dakota song.
The Dakota song. Also, so I think this is hilarious. So Leslie Ann Warren is amazing, a treasure, in love with her forever.
We love her here.
Yes. But so right around this same time, like we talked about earlier, one of the directors also directed your last movie. These people are all watching Disney movies, live action Disney movies from this era is like watching Hallmark Christmas movies now.
Sure.
In that you get this feeling that they just keep them all in a dorm somewhere attached to a small Christmas town,
right,
and then just kind of give them different scripts to do stuff. So in one of our favorite of the live action Disney musicals, The Happiest Millionaire,
which is still a favorite.
Which is absolutely still a favorite. I've rewatched that too, holds up better than this one, but
yeah, way better.
Her her beau, her like boyfriend, is the same guy, and he is
Slash
also
fiance.
Yeah, boyfriend slash fiance is the same guy in Happiest Millionaire, also playing her boyfriend slash fiance, who also sings a song trying to get people to move someplace. Except in that case, it's Detroit instead of Dakota.
Just swap one
In the
D
Happiest
for
Millionaire,
another.
he's trying to get everybody to move to Detroit, and in this one, it's trying to get everyone to move to the Dakotas. By the way, The Happiest Millionaire, if you haven't seen it, we'll go into this later, but it's all Philly-based. It's about the Drexel Biddles.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a real family that actually existed and lived in Philadelphia.
Well, yeah, no, everything here is Drexel. Like, if you've heard of Drexel anything, you know about the Drexel Biddles.
I'm writing it down.
I was just saying that for the people who don't live in Philadelphia, because
There's a song that was cut from the movie called Just Off Rittenhouse Square, which is where they lived. They actually lived in the building that's now the Anthropology.
okay.
Perfect.
Anyway, Leslie Ann Warren plays the same character dating the same man who tries to get her to move to a different place.
Yes. He keeps trying to get people to move to the future and leave the East Coast behind.
Right. It's manifest destiny. I get it.
Yeah. Very, very Disney. So I remembered a lot of what happened in this movie. Somehow my kid brain left out all of the politics. Like, I could have 100% told you, that this newspaper guy gets them to move to the Dakotas, and she's like trying to be the school teacher, and all of the plot points minus all of the politics, which is literally all this movie is. Yes. I don't know how I didn't remember that it is like a weird long political ad for like something that had been decided generations ago.
Okay, so I'm super happy that you brought this up, because while I was watching this, I could not help but think, like, what did Lindsey and Whitney like about this? Because if you're watching it at 7 or 8 years
the
old,
answer is Leslie Ann Warren.
That is the answer.
Yeah, the performances, I could understand that part, but as a kid, I couldn't imagine if I'm watching this. I guess it would be the same thing where, like, it's catchy, and I don't really care what the words are. It's just catchy. Mm-hmm. So, but I had considered. I was like, did they really care about politics? I mean, it wouldn't have surprised me.
No.
It wouldn't have.
I mean, we were weirdly political kids. Like, but I was not invested in the politics of the 1880s. Like,
it's niche, to say the least. Yeah.
Right. I mean, Benjamin Harrison, the only thing he really contributed is the whole "get the ball rolling" phrase. Like, that's it, So
because they rolled
a big ball through towns.
I only know that because of Parks and Rec.
Slogans on it.
Because of Parks and Rec, yeah.
Whitney and I are nerds enough to know that before Parks and Rec, and we're quite tickled to see it in Parks and Rec.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's like not, a very pivotal sort of historical president, Harrison. So while even we were kind of invested in politics, or at least I was, I wrote a very bossy letter to Al Gore when I was 11. But
I wish I had it in front of me right now to read it to you all.
You're gonna make a note. Let's see if we can figure this out.
Is that like bonus material, deleted scenes, Lindsey's Al Gore letter?
Lindsey's Al Gore letter.
What was your experience of watching it today, or like now? And I'm talking days after a new president has been elected to our country. This actually happened with Mosby's Marauders, I think, too, to a degree, where there's some like politics
a little
here.
bit.
So I'm curious what your feelings about this movie are in our current situation we find ourselves in.
The more things change, the more they stay the same, I guess. But
Yeah.
Even though this movie depicts how very radically, like, 180 the parties have switched.
Yeah.
That, like, the dyed-in-the-wool refuses to give up that they lost the Civil War rebel from the South is the Democrat in this was very fun to me. And that everyone else who was, like,
although he
progressive.
he was pro staying in the Union. All of his stuff was about the country needs to stay together, even though...
It's true, but just like, he was one of those rebel Confederates who, like, couldn't get over the war and what happened in the war. And he's a Democrat, and everyone else in this movie is a Republican. And the Republicans are, like, the good guys, and the Democrats are all the, like, rowdy cowboys and carpetbaggers.
That was a nice turn. I will say that. I wasn't expecting it.
And I did enjoy that, because that does accurately reflect what Democrats and Republicans viewed as important in the era.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I'm just so shocked that this movie is 90% politics, and I didn't remember any of it.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, what I thought they were fighting about. Or, I mean, I realized they were fighting about politics, I guess, but it just didn't stick in my head at all.
There's very little Kurt Russell in this movie, and I was very disappointed in that.
He's only got, like, 2 lines.
So far, he has been the saving grace in a lot of these Disney movies and early movies that we've seen, and he's not in this one to save it at all. We do have Leslie Ann Warren, who's a delight.
Although, what was up with her bangs?
Those have never been stylish in any time period.
In any era. Certainly not in the 1880s.
But also certainly not in the...
in the 60s.
In 1968.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't get what's up with that.
But yeah, not enough Kurt Russell. This is where he met Goldie Hawn.
Okay, I wasn't crazy.
She is uncredited.
That was insane to me. When she just shows up I was like, I think that's Goldie Hawn.
She's the uncredited, like, blonde in the yellow dress who, when Leslie Ann Warren and her fiance are fighting, she's the girl who, like, steals him away for the dance battle so they, like, flirt with other people to make each other jealous because they're fighting or whatever. That is Goldie Hawn, and that is where she and Kurt Russell met for the first time.
So wild.
I had no idea they'd known each other that long.
Yeah. He's what, 17 when they filmed this movie?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yep.
So they've known each other essentially forever.
Whitney, you took the words out of my mouth with the Kurt Russell thing. Specifically, him being the thing that pulls me through.
Yeah.
Which I've said probably on the past 3 films now, where he's the thing that gets me through. And now you've taken him away from me.
Yeah.
You've taken him away.
Yeah.
You've given him a hell of a kind of dance routine in the beginning of the film. Props. And then that's it.
When the 5th song starts, song number
the
5
5th song
in this
6
movie.
minutes.
Hang on, I paused it because I was like, it's song number 5 and the movie just started. How far are we into the movie? And we were 22 minutes into the movie when the 5th song had started. So it starts out like a rock opera or something. It's like Rent, where there's no dialogue. It's all singing.
There's like a 3-word exchange between songs that kind of moves the plot forward, yeah.
And that carries this family basically through this whole weird MacGuffin of they're going to sing for Grover Cleveland at the National Democratic Convention to we're going to move to the Dakota territories and help make them states. There is mercifully no talk about Native Americans in this movie.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing racist in it only because there's only white people in it.
Right.
They skirt so close to so problematic so many times, and they didn't ever get there because they didn't ever talk about Native Americans. But this whole settling and civilizing the Dakotas is like a thing that we just barely didn't hear about in this movie. But anyway, so the family lives in a place. They're going to go to the Democratic National Convention to perform. They do this thing. They end up sidetracking their whole lives and moving to the Dakotas to become homesteaders.
Because this guy with blue eyes sings one song and hands everybody a torch.
And then the music stops. and it's just an old racist Confederate grandfather yelling about politics in a church to a bunch of children. And I was looking around like...
He was not Confederate. Like,
he fought for the Confederacy, didn't he? He said that a couple times.
He was in the Union. No. He was in the Union.
No, he was a rebel.
I could have swore that he said he fought for the Confederacy.
Yes, he fought for the Confederacy.
He talked several times about how great Lincoln was and believed in the country staying unified.
No, he believed in the country being unified now in the 1880s after the Civil War, that they needed to heal and join hands. He fought for the South. They said it multiple times.
Okay, well, he kept talking about unity, so I thought he was, but I'll believe you guys because you guys both heard it. I mean, it does make sense with him being a Democrat because that was more likely to be a Southerner at the time.
That little shithead in the school who's like, let me see your teaching credentials, please.
Little Johnny.
Yeah. Johnny John, right? That was his name?
John Von John, I think his name.
John Von John? Anyway, Johnny says, you're a rebel, and he's like, so?
Uh-huh.
Anyway, but he's yelling at the kids about politics, this old Confederate in the 1880s, and telling all of these kids to, like, question everything. It's like tinfoil hat territory of, like...
Yes. Yeah.
You are 6. You deserve a say in whether or not there's 2 Dakotas or 1 Dakota.
Yeah.
Refuse to milk cows until your parents let you vote and make political decisions. And so he's this crazy old rambling racist man yelling at children in a school, and then there's like no songs. And at that point in the movie, I was like, I could really go for a song about now. I'm very tired of hearing about this.
Well, right before that part, Leslie Ann Warren and Blue Eyes had the song about wasting time together, like literally right before. And then he sings a song in the classroom.
He does,
That's what I'm saying. Right up until they get into the drummer thing. It's like literally one song and then 45 seconds of dialogue and then another song and then 2 lines of dialogue and then another song in the beginning of it. And you expect it to be sort of all songs. Yeah. And then the more it gets into politics, the fewer songs there are. And the more you're looking around and being like, I wish the songs came back and I didn't even like all those songs.
Yeah. There's a lot of standing on wagons and giving political speeches that did get very tedious.
Yes. That was my overall feel. So I'll say a couple of things really quickly. I don't know if this surprises either of you, right? Maybe I feel like I don't have any joy in my heart. I don't know what it is. I can't. Musicals for me, you have to be like excellent for me to even start to care. Like if we're having like dialogue and then we jump into song in a movie, oh man, it's a high bar. And so this for me, I feel like if they had just committed to what Whitney said, where it was like mostly songs and little bits of dialogue, but the music was taking us through, I probably would have liked this a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But given the subject matter, I was like, I don't like, it's like political rhetoric in song form. Yay!
And also, like Lindsay said, this is in 1968. Why are they going so hard on political rhetoric from the 1888 election?
I don't get it.
Like, I don't know if this was a thing culturally because a lot of times in history, you'll get people referencing past political disagreements or debates as an allegory for contemporary ones, right? Like stuff like Jefferson and Hamilton in history have sort of seesawed on who's popular at the time based on like current politics and stuff, like whether they leaning more towards federalism or...
I mean, was this like, when was Puerto Rico a thing? Before 1968?
Yeah, like was there somebody trying to become a state or something like that? I don't know. I definitely I know, obviously we all know Walt Disney was like a conservative.
That was made very clear in Follow Me, Boys.
Oh, yes.
And so this has very conservative messaging in that the one real voice we get for the like liberal carpetbagger cowboy Democrats is this rambling racist rebel grandfather.
What? Is
and
that you?
all of the like upstanding people, you know, with their shirts tucked in and like have their lives together are all Republicans, right?
Yeah, and the somehow both gay and girlfriend stealing cowboy was a Democrat too.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Hey, I mean, if anybody could pull it off, it's a Democrat, right? Being both gay and girlfriend stealing. But
Here.
I mean, that's kind of in our wheelhouse. But
It was literally the gayest costume I've ever seen put on a person who's a girlfriend stealer. Like, he's specifically supposed to be the guy who's in danger of stealing a girlfriend.
He's supposed to be like the leather jacket wearing motorcycle guy.
Yes,
and yet
but instead they put him in just the loudest, like, flamboyant yellow bandana and like deep V open neck flannel, and it's just you cannot tell his sexuality from his acting at all, like as a person or as a character, but it's just the reading the script of who this character is and then saying as a costumer, I know exactly how to dress him.
It betrays him a little bit, is what you're saying.
Gayer than a picnic basket.
I mean, I really think it was going for because like all of the Republicans are wearing like very well tailored suits.
Oh yeah, no,
it's
all nice suits and respectability and wearing hats in public and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's where the costumer was coming from at the time, but you know, who knows?
Anyway, he was like, I'm going to dress this guy gayer than Christmas.
Like, there's no way this guy's taking Alice. Not at all. Not the way he's dressed.
I mean, I would have liked it better.
Yeah, me too.
I was not happy with Alice ending up with Leslie Ann Warren. Deserves so much better than that guy she's ended up with in multiple movies, who's always trying to take her away from her family and civilize people. He's like the same character in both movies.
It's wild. He is the same character in both movies. He's sort of this dreamy-eyed idealist about how he's better than everybody else and where like he's going to go where the civilization and the money and the whatever and the potential
he knows
is.
what the future is,
and he knows
he's
what the future
tell everybody
is like.
Else
He's the exact
what's
same person
important.
in The Happiest Millionaire. It's wild. Although in The Happiest Millionaire he gets drunk and talks about joining the French Foreign Legion, so I like him better in that movie.
Redeemable.
Yes.
Redeemable.
Because haven't we all had a time where we get drunk and we're like, maybe I'll just join the French Foreign Legion and leave all this behind?
Sure. Yeah, and when they have their relationship disruption part of the plot, instead of trying to make her jealous with a blonde, he goes and gets drunk with an Irishman and talks about joining the French Foreign Legion. It's way more relatable.
Of course. I think I'm with both of you in that I found the grandpa to be just a very unpleasant character to follow through this movie.
When he's like, well, if I'm not appreciated here, I'll just leave.
Good.
I was like,
Get the fuck out.
leave. You're not appreciated here. And then all the kids are crying and so sad. And they're like, my life is over because my terrible grandfather who fights with everybody is gone.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, the movie positions that as maybe, I guess we're supposed to feel bad for that guy, but I'm like, I don't. Like, this is actually what happens when you are an asshole. The people in your life push you away.
You can't respect anybody else's boundaries or opinions, and that's what happens. And the dad should have made it up, like made it an issue before then. He did let it go too far.
That's what it really is.
Here's the thing. There's a little bit of reality influencing fiction in this case with the two of us who have a very stubborn, obstinate, fight-picking, for the most part, disagrees with everybody politically grandfather.
Oh.
Who Lindsay still lives
from
with.
North Dakota.
Weird.
Yeah.
Just as a little piece of... but he was raised in an environment in a time where he thought his opinion was more important than anybody else's.
Man, Mom moved back in with them when like after the divorce, she went back to school. And then by the time she was done with school and supporting herself and 2 teenagers, like fine by herself, that's when my grandparents started to have health trouble. So Mom and Lindsay are both still in that house with my grandparents. So you've got 3 generations in one house, which is rare these days in America. But also there's a lot of lines you can draw from our grandfather to that grandfather.
Yeah. There's similarly him yelling at people because they drive a foreign car and you can't get him to stop for like 7 minutes. So
I know the type. Yeah. I know. Let's just say I know the type. When you combine that, that guy, with the beau in this, who was, I don't know what that guy's name is. Was he Buddy Ebsen? No, probably not. Is that him?
No, Buddy Ebsen.
I don't know who that is.
No.
I don't. John Davidson?
The actor's name is like John
Davidson. It is John Davidson, I think.
Yeah. But I can't remember the character's name either. It was like Cordy or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah. So we have the three leads, and only one of them is really like, I'm pulling for her. Alice, Leslie, and Warren.
Yeah. So Buddy Ebsen, just to go back to that really quickly. Yes, you've never seen the Beverly Hillbillies?
Oh, I guess I have, but I did not put that together. Okay.
He also plays Audrey Hepburn's husband in Breakfast at Tiffany's. He's Doc Golightly.
I'll believe you. It's been a minute since I've seen Breakfast at Tiffany's, but yes, okay. He
was also Barnaby Jones in the TV show Barnaby Jones.
I don't know what that is. I've never even heard of that.
I think the Beverly Hillbillies would be the reference most people are familiar with him from.
Because
while he's in Breakfast at Tiffany's, he's not like a big part in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
No, he only comes in at the end to like gently pull her away or whatever.
Yeah. But he was one of the like Disney go-to actors for this period of their live action movies.
He was also supposed to be the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz, and then before filming began, his role was changed to the Tin Man, but then they put like lead paint on him and he got really sick, and so he was not the Tin Man. Yeah.
I guess you're not our guy.
He had an allergic reaction to what the makeup was.
No, it was aluminum dust. There was aluminum dust in the makeup, and so he got really sick and was forced to drop out. I think they changed it for the next guy, but I'm not even sure if that's true.
Because they poisoned the first one.
He was supposed to be the Scarecrow, and then he was supposed to be the Tin Man.
You live and learn.
They also burned the actress who played the Wicked Witch of the West. That was not a safe movie to be on.
No. It seemed dangerous from all we've heard.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the music if we can. Mm-hmm. I found just the one song to be very good, and I really did not care for the rest. And it's because they got the words razzmatazz and virtuosity in the lyrics, and I got to give it up for any song that can do that. So it's the titular song, right? It's the one about the band itself.
Come hear the hullabaloo of our tuba, hear the tickety-boom of our drum, hear the tweedledee of our woodwind, hear our plinkety-plink and banjo strum. And when the razzmatazz of our brasses begins to pizzazz in the air something grand, better get ready to hear and better get ready to cheer the one and only genuine original family band.
I really like that one.
It's the one introducing themselves as, I do like all the instrument describing with words like razzmatazz of our
horns. I thought that was very good.
Yeah, so that's, if you recall, last week I said the only reason that I know the words in the right order every time is because of the song, The One and Only Genuine Original Family Band. And I still agree, that's the best song in the movie. I did like the 10 Feet Off the Ground, the song about the person who invented music.
Right. And Kurt's part in that was also very good, where
that's like as much as we get to see him in the whole movie. Yeah.
And he dances his ass off for a little bit there, and he's very good at that too, I think. It's pretty good. And that's, Any other standout songs for you, or no?
No, I feel like West of the Wide Missouri was supposed to be it's like the barn burning song.
Right. That's very Cowboys and Farmers Should Be Friends song. It's very much trying to be that song from Oklahoma. Or anything from Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, and it just doesn't hit that mark.
I was just going to say, it's just like Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, where it's just like all the town is in one place, they're waiting for election results, and they're all supposed to be sort of getting along because they're all like homesteaders in the West. And I found that one, which was supposed to be like the big number, fell really short for me. It was all very hurried. No one could really sing it well.
Yeah, and I know they were dancing a lot in that, but they were all out of breath. Yeah.
Yeah. When you write a song that no one can sing well, it's like you wrote a bad song.
Right. Maybe you should look inward instead of expecting too much.
And my favorite song as a child was Let's Put It Over with Grover, and that is not my favorite song now. It's very catchy and repetitive, but I think all of the sort of campaign songs fall flat in this.
Mm-hmm.
So you two seem far more
nonplussed.
No, far more in the musical, and I mean that in the genre, the musical realm than myself.
Oh, yes.
Oh, for sure.
I could say I looked at. It's surprising literally no one who's listening. I looked at there was a list on Rotten Tomatoes of like the top 100 musicals of all time. And I'm okay to say that I had only actually seen like 7 of them. And and I wouldn't even consider some
of... That's a very low number.
Right. But again, this is me. And again, the bar for a musical for me, the 7 that I had seen were not, in my opinion, even... Like Purple Rain is one of them. Do you consider that a musical or no?
It's been a long time since I've seen Purple Rain, so I'd have to remember. One of the things that is weird about this movie is that, so usually in a musical, there's the difference between diegetic and non-diegetic music, right?
Yes.
So normally in a musical, it's non-diegetic. It's like a soliloquy. You start singing when your emotions get too intense to just talk. And then you start dancing when your emotions get too intense for even the singing, right? Like that's the rule in a musical.
Sure.
That's the escalation. Yeah. And in this, most of the songs, if not all of the songs, there's a couple of like her dreaming about being a bride song and their wasting time song that could be non-diegetic like a regular musical. Everything else is them actually singing it in context in real life, And
which makes it more like a rock opera type thing or whatever, like where the dialogue is being sung in character, like it's more, anyway.
Like one of the only musicals where the music is diegetic is Cabaret, because every song advances the plot, but it's also all on stage in the Kit Kat Club. So everybody is in a club performing when they're singing. Nobody is soliloquying in their heads like in most musicals.
So so this is good because y'all have like perspective on this. I would be curious, and not even knowing this list of 100, if you had to like pin this movie in a top 100 list, ballpark,
not on
where
the
is
list.
It? It's
it's not.
Okay, good. That's really, Lindsay, are you feeling similarly?
Oh yeah, I would barely consider this a musical because the songs don't really advance the plot in most of the cases. Like, because they're just songs that they're singing as like a political campaign or whatever, they don't really move the plot forward. Like I said, Leslie Ann Warren has a couple character revealing songs, but for the most part, they're just singing and dancing to be singing and dancing because Disney liked that. So like, it's barely a musical for me.
I was pulling up the Wikipedia notes so that when we go into the like plot points, tell the synopsis of the movie, I would have it ready. And I happened to glance at the production section, which is only a couple paragraphs long. And it says, originally planned as a 2-part television show. They almost had us again, Andrew.
Almost.
The project was based on a book by Laura Bauer Van Nuys. The memoir by Van Nuys, the youngest of the Bauer children, described her family's brass band, their journey out of Missouri, and their frontier life in the Black Hills. Walt Disney asked the Sherman brothers for their help on the project, feeling the story was too flat. And the Shermans wrote the song The One and Only Genuine Original Family Band, which was ultimately used as a title sequence. After hearing the song, Disney decided to add more songs to the film and turn it into a musical. In all, the Sherman brothers wrote 11 songs for the film, although the entire time Robert Sherman reportedly did so under protest, believing the subject matter was too mundane to be made into a feature-length musical film.
Damn it.
Yeah.
He was right.
So even one of your two writers.
Yeah, I was going to say, when
like,
a guy's right, he's right. This was too flat.
One of your two writers who write all of your music the entire time is like, I shouldn't be doing this. This is too boring.
Right. I'll take your check, but I'm not happy about it.
Yeah. So there you go.
No kid wants to listen to a song about Harrison.
Right.
They just don't.
Not even then.
Yeah.
I do believe that this suffers, again, from that sort of memoir of real life, like Mosby's Marauders, in that Disney tries to stick too hard to hitting all of the key plot points that actually happened and does not try to stick hard enough to a good plot that makes sense and tells a story. And I think that that's what happened again in this, is that we have... This genuinely feels 100% possible as a family history in the 1880s. For sure.
Yeah.
Do I believe that this family was actually a band and actually lived in Missouri and actually went to the Dakotas and actually their grandpa got all caught up in the presidential race? 100%. Do I need to see any of it? No.
Well, and you can tell that it's just somebody's life and not an actual story in the fact that there's no real character arcs. They try and force one with the grandpa.
Yeah.
That's as close as they get to anybody having a character arc, but it's not really there. You know, he just kind of learns a little bit to not be so aggro at people, but only even kind of. And they take him back without any real difference.
But there's very little beginning. Because we jump right into it, this family is all of a sudden playing the Democratic National Convention with little to no intro. There's almost no beginning. There's really no middle.
Except they move to the Dakotas.
Except for that they move to the Dakotas, but that's not even the middle. That happens
in the first act, yeah.
In the first act. So anyway, and then there's no end. They just end it after a president is elected.
The song.
But yeah,
Everyone comes together.
There's no they have a fight and then they get back together, the main love interest, with no reason. Nothing is resolved about what they were in a fight about, right?
Yeah.
They just get back together because they were dancing at a convention and he grabs her into a wheelbarrow. By the way, when people say no, don't kiss them and drag them into a wheelbarrow.
Right.
Stop making that look romantic.
Part of the way into this movie, Jamie was like, this guy seems like he sucks. And I was curious, and I was like, why do you say that he sucks? And he was like, he has not appeared to listen to a single thing she's said the whole movie.
Ever.
And that's
at all.
100% true. He has never once listened to any of her thoughts or feelings this whole movie.
He just thinks she's hot, which she is. She's Leslie Ann Warren. She's the most charming person on the planet. But yeah, he does not listen to her. They do not have dialogues about anything. What he says goes in everything. I'm totally with you and Jamie on this. He's awful. And even the parents. So they start to have a little bit of the story with the fact that she first is not remotely interested in going to the Dakotas. She's the one saying, we've moved enough. We've built a house here. We have a family. Yeah. After his song about how great the Dakotas are, she's the one pushing the father to go. There's no character consistency with anybody but the grandpa and the love interest in this movie.
She was like, it was a catchy song. I didn't believe it, but then it was a catchy song. So
now I want to move to a place that freezes every year. And we have family from North Dakota, so we're allowed to bash North Dakota.
That's perfect. That's how it works.
Yeah, no, if you've ever spent a winter in Fargo, you know how shitty it can be to be in the Dakota.
Yeah. Can either of you do the accent?
No.
I was going to say.
Not really. We have some relatives who have lived there longer who have the accent, but we can't really do it.
We actually apparently have the accent on a few certain words. We both grew up in Southern California. We have very little accent, but occasionally we'll say something and everyone's like, "Are you from the Midwest?" And it's like, we're not, but our family is.
Our mom's whole family is from the Midwest and North Dakota, like, specifically, so...
The other day I did post a story on Instagram where I was talking about the dog, and I sounded a little bit Minnesotan. Not North Dakotan. There's a difference. But after I listened to it back after I posted it, and I was like, oh, okay. A little bit of that Minnesota's coming out.
You love to hear it. You love to hear it. I think we touched on everything, right?
That's everything, I think.
Shocking lack of Kurt Russell in this movie, which was very disappointing for me.
But it totally makes sense to me why I did not remember this as a Kurt Russell movie when we first started talking about it for this podcast. I was like, that's a Kurt Russell movie? And now that makes sense because there's literally like a total of 4 minutes maybe that he's on screen.
Right. He appears in the background of some shots. I never saw him standing next to Goldie Hawn at any point, which was disappointing. There was no gravitas, unlike the past 3 films where he was, a heavy hitter.
Is Goldie Hawn older than Kurt Russell?
I had thought about that myself because she seems, to my eye, at least more mature looking in this film than he does by a lot. But I don't know if that's just... I don't know what...
I mean, that could be the way they were styled, too.
True.
You know?
No, a quick Google says that Kurt Russell is 69. Nice. And Goldie Hawn is 75.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Which is accurate to how it looked in this movie.
Yeah, that she's like 5 years older than him.
Yeah, she looked in like her early 20s, and he looked about 17.
Yeah, that all checks out. So.
Yeah.
I think that's everything,
Yeah, like I said, there wasn't actually very much to the story of this movie.
No, if you don't care about Harrison
and Cleveland. Yeah.
Cleveland.
If you weren't already invested in the results of that election, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Then this wouldn't be for you?
There's no need to see this movie.
I mean, it is a story where an electoral college win overrides the popular vote.
And we have to talk about unity after the fact. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Let's move on.
I have a question that is kind of unrelated to this because now I'm just curious because I always like to get recommendations. So I pulled up this list of the 100 best musicals, of which you told me that one of which I saw, it was not a musical, or potentially not, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to list the, what is it here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I have seen. And I would love if each of you could recommend me one more that I should watch based off of this list.
Okay.
I'll say unabashedly that I really, really enjoy these movies. So don't, just take this at face value. Okay, here it is. Purple Rain. I said that one. The Rocky Horror Picture Show. Again, I don't know if that counts, but sure. Chicago.
Okay. Yeah.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Yep. West
Side Story.
Yep.
And this one I also don't know, but maybe Footloose.
Okay. Okay. Based on those,
It's probably like a little. It seems to err towards lighter. Maybe not, but like
yeah. I was gonna
fun,
say. I mean,
like
you've
fun?
got some of the spooky ones in there, like Little Shop of Horrors and Rocky Horror. Little Shop of Horrors was actually what I was gonna recommend before you got to it. But I think Stephen Sondheim's Assassins, I think, would fit in with your list. If you like those, I think you would enjoy that.
there's not a movie of that.
Oh, there's no. Yeah.
Okay.
And there is a film
stage.
stage version.
So I would say, I think, based on what I know of you in those few musicals, I think you would like Victor Victoria. Which is
Victoria.
Yes, that's a good one.
Julie Andrews, Leslie Ann Warren is also in it.
Hey.
It's sort of like the Birdcage, but with Julie Andrews doing the
And
gender
also like
swap.
Tootsie. Like
Yeah, like Tootsie.
Okay.
It's exactly like Tootsie, but with Julie Andrews, and it's a musical.
Interesting. Okay.
I think you would love Enchanted if you haven't seen it. That was 2007.
That's more modern, right?
Yeah,
okay.
2007.
Yeah.
It's Amy Adams and Patrick Dempsey, but it's making fun. It's Disney making fun of itself in a really delightful way that reminds me a lot of Galaxy Quest, the way that Galaxy Quest makes fun of Star Trek.
Yes.
Okay.
And so there's some songs and musical habits and traditions that they make fun of in Enchanted while still being a musical that I think you would genuinely enjoy. It's a very well-made movie.
I could also see you liking Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd. That's
Sweeney Todd.
Okay, Sweeney Todd. All right, I'm writing them down.
That's
The,
Tim
like-
Burton.
Yes.
All right.
But he worked very closely with Stephen Sondheim, and you know,
I think you're right in suggesting Sondheim to Andrew. I think
Andrew would
You're
like
right
Sondheim's lyricism
I'm just
and
gonna write this guy's name down.
Stephen Sondheim. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's very witty, he's very dry, but he also does incredible leitmotifs in the music and like musical sort of callbacks and echoes when he's like hitting the same emotional moment or like referencing a previous emotional moment. The Dies Irae is all over Sweeney Todd. So
Okay. All right. I'll check that out. There we go.
Phantom of the Paradise.
oh, that's
Is
great.
wild.
If you like Purple
That's-
Rain,
I do like
Brian De
Purple Rain.
Palma. Yeah, no, it's Brian De
Yeah.
Palma. And it's like
I like Brian De Palma
Re-
too. Look at this.
Yeah, no, it's like Rocky Horror as a 70s take on Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera.
So it's got sort of a 70s go-go rock and roll
Glam rock.
rock sort of a thing, but it's the basic beats of the story are all the Phantom of the Opera, and it's Brian De Palma, and it's bright colors, and I think you would like that one too.
I like bright colors. I like how that's the description. It's got bright colors. You would love it. I'm into it. No, I really
I
am.
like other
I mean,
stuff
I'm
that
not
I said
knocking-
already.
Yeah. Like, I'm not knocking a visually lush, spectacle. That's part of what a movie's for. So.
No, yeah. Well,
But
okay.
since so many that you said were like visually lush spectacles.
Yeah, I think that's what it is for me, really. I think that and for me, the one that's no, I guess maybe West Side Story. Chicago that's a stage production that became a movie, right? And then they just adapt. Yeah, so
Yeah.
for whatever
Almost
reason,
all
that one,
of these musical movies that are on this list that I looked at after you mentioned it,
Yeah.
they're all musicals that were on stage that moved to, including Rocky Horror, that
Yeah.
moved to movies.
all right. So maybe that's maybe this is my
Shop
way
of
into
Horrors went the other way, but
it. Yeah. All right. Good. Bonus for our listening audience, you just got like some really great recommendations. There's a potential that you're more cultured than I am and you'd already seen these, in which case, bravo for you.
What I will say is, if you're interested in classic musicals, none of them are ones we've just mentioned.
I'm not
If you're
interested in
into
that, I
like
don't
the
think.
Oklahoma Sound of Music,
we
Brigadoon.
did know Rodgers and Hart, Rodgers and Hammerstein in those recommendations. So
Yes. So, like, I have recommendations for people. Hit me up on Twitter if you want a musical recommendation that's more of a classic musical. But if you're looking for something a little avant-garde that is on the lush side but has a sense of humor, those are the ones that I recommend. I stand by all of my picks.
If you're easily distracted like me and you need pretty visuals to go with your songs,
Yeah.
let's go. I'm into
Yeah.
it. I wrote them all down. I'm excited.
I
we
expect a
expect-
full report.
I was just gonna say we expect 2 pages, single spaced.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. I got some work. I'll note it for next time I call for recommendations. All right. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, never think that Nelson is going to let you out of homework.
Yeah.
Which is
We are
funny
a
because
homework clan.
we didn't even go to school. We never had
All
homework,
our work was
so,
homework.
yeah.
That's why.
Every bit of work was homework. Oh, my gosh. You know, that's actually a great segue. Homework.
It is a great segue. Homework. All we do is learn. As human beings, we're designed to learn. You know who can help you learn now? Skillshare.
Skillshare can help you learn. Oh my gosh. They are sponsoring this episode. You can pretty much learn, as we have discovered on just 2 episodes, right? I think Whitney and I have covered basically everything you would want to ever learn, really. Carding wool, card magic. What was the other one?
Whatever it is that Andrew teaches, I don't know.
Plants. It's Final Cut Pro 10.
Yeah, no, I don't listen when you talk, Andrew.
I'm basically right there with you. I'm like, what? When can I stop talking? Is essentially
Just
always front of
kidding.
mind.
Just pulling your leg.
Somebody told me the other day they got a really great cinnamon roll recipe from a video on Skillshare. So.
Is that right? Hold on.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. I love me a cinnamon roll. And there are some iffy recipes out there.
Baking is such a delicate balance, you know? I have one here. I'm going to type this in. It might be controversial. Hold on. I just got to see. Oh, man. Lindsay, I'm sorry to say it, but there are a handful of gelato courses on Skillshare.
Oh, no.
It looks delicious. I'm not, it's going to be night and day compared to what you're doing. But hey, 4,315 people apparently learned how to make gelato. Not quite at your level.
None
they
of
just
it's
got
as
the
good
colors
as
right
Lindsay's,
here.
though.
Like this looks delicious. You can really it's an unbelievable resource, especially because we're all home, most of us, I would say.
Ooh, I searched for cinnamon rolls and I
Got
found
it?
a class called The Science of Easy Vegan Baking. That sounds interesting.
There you go.
Because I don't know the science of vegan baking. It all is wild. Why do we use chickpea juice to replace egg whites? I don't understand how that works at all. So the science of vegan baking is something that's interesting.
Right. If you can get to the bottom of it,
Yeah.
it just gives you
Why
a
are-
fuller
why-
understanding.
Why are egg whites like chickpea juice?
I think it's the proteins.
I'm sure it is, Lindsay. Shut up. Trying to sell a product here.
I mean, it doesn't mean that Skillshare, can't more fully illuminate that topic,
Exactly. There are apparently 30,000 individual classes on Skillshare. As we had discussed last episode, I did a search for magic and there were 989 results. So I don't know how accurate that 30,000 number is. It gives me pause. I'll just say that. But hey, I'm going to read what they sent over. It's 30,000 individual classes. There's outlines. It's all video. It's all people doing the work, which is really, really nice.
Oh, I was just doing random browsing and I found a class called How to Find Your Personal Brand Archetype that I think is amusing.
I don't think you need to take that one, Whitney. I think you've actually nailed that. Did you teach that course?
No one has a stronger brand online than Whitney Nelsen.
I was gonna
Except
say.
for maybe
Sure.
Lindsey
Maybe
Nelsen.
Lindsey Nelsen, yeah.
Maybe the two of you could tag team and teach this class.
We could. And, it's just about living your life out loud, but not out loud literally on the internet.
But also sometimes with all the podcasts
Sometimes
you two do.
out actual loud. We talk in front of microphones a lot, so.
So there it is.
It's because we've tired out everyone who talks to us on a daily basis. We have to
In
find
person,
more people
yes.
to
We
bore.
need strangers to now. Hey, you, sir, walking down the street. Listen to me. Listen now.
The internet can't put certain topics on my do not converse about list, so.
Exactly.
It's because I talk about them too much.
I don't know what the keywords are here. I searched for archery. So archery, none of these are about archery, but the things that came up, a Blender 2.8 model a lightsaber beginners project, and that sounds dope.
Yeah, well, that's 3D modeling, 3D rendering.
Yeah, no, I don't
that.
use Blender, but I would maybe to render a lightsaber.
Yeah, I have carving a simple rubber stamp here. It's and then you could click through. There are outlines of everything, so you know exactly how much time you need to invest. They generally produce the outcome, so it's like, hey, here's by the end, this is what you'll be able to do. And again, it's anywhere from sometimes it's 10 minutes, sometimes it's 3 to 4 hours, sometimes it's even more than that. It's an intensive course, but hey, all that stuff going in. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice.
Andrew, what do they get if they use our code?
Oh my God. Well, you go to 12and24.com/Skillshare, first of all. You'll see me. It'll say Andrew has invited you to Skillshare. You sign up on that page. It's a free 14-day trial. If you want to continue it, it's $15 month to month, no contract. You could say like, hey, for a month, maybe you have a project coming up and you're like, I got to learn how to use Photoshop real quick. Let me sign up for $15 just to learn Photoshop, and then we're good. And then maybe a month later, you're like, oh, I got to learn something new. You could totally do that or not. It doesn't matter. Regardless, you get 14 days to learn anything you want. You could probably learn everything we talked about on this podcast in 14 days. I'm guessing. I'm guessing.
You could make a better movie than this after 14 days of Skillshare. I guarantee it.
You take a
I
take a
think
music
this
theory
movie
course?
probably took about 14 days. I think that's part of the problem.
Right. It would have been
Like I
better
said,
as
it's
just
like
a
a
course.
Hallmark Christmas movie. Yeah.
Of course. I think we've talked about it all. 12and24.com/Skillshare. Go there, sign up. 14 days free. Learn something. And then you know what? Here's what I would love. Report back what you learned. Like I have to report to Lindsay and Whitney in like a couple days about all these musicals I've watched. Let us know what you learned on Skillshare, because I would love to talk about that. So I could sit here and talk about all the
Also,
dumb stuff I learned, but no
Join
one
the
cares.
podcast Discord to see Andrew's thoughts and feelings after he watches the musicals.
Yes, or your thoughts and feelings on musicals, or any
Accidentally.
recommendations you have for musicals.
That's right.
No getting out of this one, Andrew.
Oh, oops! Discord just deleted. I don't know how we're still talking. I don't know. That's it. Skillshare. Do that. Perfect dismount. Look at us.
Even the Russian judge gave that a 10.
It was a great segue in.
That's one of Lindsay's favorite jokes.
I like that because
Yeah.
they're stern but fair. You know, that's the Russian. It's the Russian way.
It's the Russian way. Yeah. All right. So this is one paragraph of plot synopsis. So we're going to get through the deep dive of this movie pretty quickly.
Oh, before we do this, I have one quick
Yes.
question. If
Oh,
we removed
okay, yes.
all of the music from this movie, how long is this movie? Roughly.
8 minutes.
I didn't have the exact answer. I was just curious to see what y'all would say.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
it does feel about
Probably.
right.
That feels right. Whether or not it is right.
It can't be more than like 40 minutes tops without the music, I would
Yeah,
think.
this is like a 2-hour movie
Agreed.
too. It's
Yeah.
crazy. So I was just that tickled me to think about. I was like, if we just moved scene to scene,
Emotionally, 8 minutes. Whether or not that's actually literally the answer, emotionally it was the correct answer.
I'm gonna just make a note to put that on the poster. Okay, and we can talk about the plot points of this film.
Okay. So, this movie is about the Bauer family. The Bauer family band petitions the Democratic National Committee to sing a rally song for President Grover Cleveland at the party's 1888 convention. On the urging of Joe Carter, who is a journalist and suitor to the eldest Bauer daughter, Alice, the family decides instead to move to the Dakota Territory. It literally happens that fast and abruptly. Like,
Yeah.
there is no way for the plot synopsis to make that seem more logical. It's
two
not.
of the 8 minutes.
Literally,
Yes.
this Republican newspaper guy from the Dakotas writes letters to their daughter. They form a courtship, and he comes out and he's like, yeah, I moved to the Dakotas. And that's 20 minutes in. Less than. So they're in the Dakotas. There, Grandpa Bauer, a staunch Democrat, causes trouble with his pro-Cleveland sentiments. The Dakota residents are overwhelmingly Republican, and they hope to get the territory admitted as 2 states, North and South Dakota, rather than as 1, so that they can send 4 Republican senators to Washington rather than 2 Republican senators to Washington. Grandpa's actions result in family strife, including nearly costing Alice her position as the town's new school teacher. The budding romance between Joe and Alice also suffers. In the end, more ballots are cast for Cleveland, but the Republican nominee Benjamin Harrison nonetheless wins the Electoral College vote and the presidency. I think that may be a reason why I've been like, the Electoral College is garbage since I was like 7 years old. I think that's the only thing that I took
It's true.
from this.
Whitney and I were very early on that boat of the
You're like,
I
wait
think that
a
this
minute.
might be why I think that.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember our father or mother ever talking about the Electoral College, but I know that I was like the youngest person I knew to be talking about the Electoral College, so it may have something to do with this movie. Anyway, Benjamin Harrison wins even though he didn't get the popular vote. Before he leaves office, Cleveland grants statehood to the two Dakotas, as well as Montana and Washington, which evens the gains for both parties. They now have the same amount of senators. So no one actually won this whole fight that the whole movie is about. Because it's all about
politics.
who has the most this statesmanship.
It's about taking control of the Senate, and on his way out the door, Grover Cleveland made sure.
Yep. That's rude.
So anyway, everyone ends up with the same amount of senators, and the Dakotans, particularly the feuding young couple, resolve to live together in peace. The end.
You know what you know what actually you just reminded me of was the funniest to me. I created this sub narrative in my head during this scene where the dad, which I'm guessing is what was his name again? Buddy Ebsen is gonna have a talk with Grandpa. And he like takes him to the shed, and I was like, "Oh shit, he's gonna murder this guy." Because it was like he gets in there, he's like real stern.
He's like, "You're gonna need to go in here. This is as good a place as any."
Yeah,
takes him
he's
into
like,
the woodshed, and the
then he's like,
grandfather
"This is a long
all
time
like
coming."
nervous. And he's like babbling on about the last time they were in the woodshed was when he was whipping him as a boy for something, and I missed all the time, but that's because I was trying to miss and blah blah blah. I didn't really want to hit you or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, this did used to be a thing. It was at least like a cultural cliche or a trope that you took somebody out to the woodshed to get punished.
Yeah.
You know.
But the punishment that seemed to be coming did seem like murder. You're
did.
absolutely right. It felt like that to me, too.
I mean, all you have to do to make this scene, like, you cut it a little bit earlier than when don't let it play out, and just change the music, and it is straight up like a murder. Just put some CSI music under there or some shit, and it's done. That's all it takes, because everything else about it is like, oh yeah, he's gonna kill this guy.
Yep.
Oh no. Okay. I want to ask both of you first. You saw it 30 years ago, ish.
Yeah.
30-ish years ago, and you saw it just recently, within the past week.
I do just want to reiterate, we are both under 40. We were very young.
Oh no!
The last time that we saw this movie.
That's So, I think the young yous, it's a clear ringing endorsement that yes, you recommend this film. Everyone should watch this film. What do the present day yous say?
I do not recommend watching this film.
See, yeah, I was going to say, I think even as a kid, though, it was kind of one of those things you watched because you had access to it more than that it was our favorite. Like, we had others that were our favorite.
We have a lot of other musicals that we liked as kids Darby O'Gill and the Little People we liked more, although that one's problematic as well.
Sure.
The Happiest Millionaire is a great one. So, like, there's a lot of both Disney and, like, MGM and whatever musicals at this time. Calamity Jane is my favorite that we were, like, obsessed with, that we were not obsessed with this film. So I would even say as kids, while we may have recommended you watch it, it was never our favorite.
It would have not been our top.
I just really thought this movie was going to be better than it was based on how I remembered it being as a kid.
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
the recollection of the lyrics for the songs, it's it got in there is what it got
is not a recommend for me, dog.
Same here. If you're in the mood for like a peppy Disney live action musical from the mid-century, watch Happiest Millionaire. It's much better.
Yeah.
And you get
and it has like
two
half of the same
people?
cast.
Yeah.
So
2 of the same leads or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. Plus, you get the guy from Follow Me Boys who plays the troop leader as the dad of the Drexel Beatles.
Yeah, that makes me wonder what the fuck was Kurt Russell up to that he could be in The Happiest
I don't
Millionaire?
know. Why wasn't he in The Happiest Millionaire?
I don't know, because there's brothers in that one too. He could have been.
There's young brothers who box, and Kurt Russell could easily have been one of those.
And scare off their sister's suitors. He would have been great in that role.
He was already doing that in Mosby's Marauders. Unbelievable. It's a cousin. You swap a cousin for a sister or whatever. It's all good. Mm-hmm. I don't recommend this, obviously. I don't think that comes as any shock to any of us. So far, no. Whitney, we have recommended exactly 0 Kurt Russell movies out of 4.
Yep, it's a bummer. It's a bummer. It's. I know we're getting into good stuff so soon, but it is so far the fact that we have not recommended a single one of the early ones is making me feel like, did we make a mistake with this podcast?
I have to assume that the back. It's not even the back half. It's like the 25% mark on. It's just, it has to be so strong.
He hits a critical mass. Bangers. There's so many bangers later on in his career, and it's coming in really not that long a time from now because it's all like his early mid-20s. So he's like 17 right now. We don't have that much time between now and like hit after hit after hit. But I am starting to like feel a little bit sad about the Kurt Locker.
You know, the interesting thing, and I will say this, is the reason that this first decade, I'll say, feels the way it does is because similarly to Keanu, this guy was making 2 to 3 movies a year. Like 1968, 2 movies, 69, 2 movies, 71, 2 movies. Like he is cranking them out. So the dude is working super hard, which is, you can't fault him for that. It's just some of these. I get it. He's a kid and he's working in Hollywood. He's living the dream, right? But you're like, it's when he gets a little older and is more discerning about the roles, I think, that it really picks up in a really, really nice way. So. Whitney, Lindsay, your list is I don't
empty.
assume to have known.
It's just this one.
Yeah. So this is your number 1 movie, Lindsay, is what
I mean, I guess for right now.
Okay, good. Whitney, where are you going to put the one and only, hold on a minute, the one and only genuine original family band from memory?
There you go.
Genuine. Sorry.
Genuine.
I am putting it at number 4. Number 4 out of 4.
Yeah. I don't know if you're aware, but our lists remain identical.
That's amazing. But I am shocked at myself for putting this in number 4 because I really did enjoy this movie as a kid, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
No, I will never watch it again.
We're ruining dreams. We're ruining dreams.
We are. But in this case, I'm kind of okay that they're ruined because it's better than me going around talking about how much I love the one and only genuine original family band.
Yeah, I can go around talking about how great Calamity Jane is, and it's still great. And I still watch that all the time.
Yeah.
That checks out. Last week I asked, are any of the upcoming movies going to be worse than these 3? And literally the next week, we rank one below all 3 of them. So we might be in for some surprises with Kurt throughout these early years, it seems. So there is that. There is that.
We are doing it. And we're doing it so you don't have to.
Right.
The end.
I feel like the service, I don't know how people listen to this, but, there are chapters in these podcasts, so you can hop around, really. Mm-hmm. It might be worthwhile. Just listen to it straight through. But I think we are doing a public service by not only recommending them with just a quick yes, no, but also putting our money where our mouth is and describing why and where it goes on a list comparatively. Really?
Yes.
I absolutely used Cool Breeze to see if there were any Keanu Reeves movies I hadn't seen that I should,
Yeah.
So
How did that work out for you? I mean, what was? Can you think of a? I'm not trying to put you on the spot. If you can't think of one, that's fine. But was there one that you were like, okay, they all enjoyed that, I'll go watch it?
Well, I mean, like, I'd never seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure before.
That's
Any of the
right.
Bill and Ted's.
You and
Yeah.
Whitney.
Yeah, we had both never seen it, and then partially because of my glowing review, she went to go watch it.
Incredible.
That's still, I think, one of the biggest surprises of Cool Breeze for me was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it. So
That's fantastic. See, what a good one. What a really, actually, a good one.
So good, so wholesome. I know I talk about it every time we bring up Bill and Ted, but Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is, if I have sons, I will show them that movie as an example of like non-toxic male friendship.
masculinity. Yeah. And there's not a lot of movies from the 80s about which that can be said.
There's very few movies about which that can be said.
I challenge anyone listening to find me
But the
one.
80s were so toxic. Like, I have an easier time watching movies from the 30s than I do watching movies from the 80s. As far as, like, rape culture goes and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
boy howdy.
All right. Well,
Okay, so none of us recommend it. It's as low as it can possibly go in all of our lists.
Go
hate to
see
see
Bill
it.
and Ted's Excellent Adventure instead of this.
go do it. Let's talk real quick. Next week,
Next week.
episode, I'll be walking us through the film The Horse in the Gray Flannel Suit. Thoughts, feelings about this one? Never seen it.
No
Never
idea.
even heard of it. Okay.
It's a very surrealist name. I like that about it.
Yeah, I know that it's another Disney one. I very, very much, and I still stand by this, although we may have another family band situation on our hands. You are going to like the Computer Wore Tennis Shoes.
All right. I'll note it down along my other notes here. Computer Wore Tennis Shoes. We'll see. Maybe my new number one.
To me, it is the Disney version of Short Circuit. A little bit earlier, but
Okay.
very in that vein of Short Circuit, which is a movie that I love, is as problematic as that one is as well. Talk about problematic faves.
Oh, yeah. Some casual
But
racism.
It's
and
also
whatnot,
got some
you know.
Flight of the Navigator vibes.
Flight of the Navigator is
Nice.
another great one.
All right, I get that. I can relate to. See, now we're talking the same language. All right,
Yeah.
let's fucking
So
go.
I know that we are getting into some stuff that we're going to like. I don't think I've ever seen The Horse in the Gray Flannel Suit. If I have, I blocked it out because it does not seem familiar at all. Again, after Constantine, I don't say anything for sure that I've never seen.
Nothing is
because
certain.
nothing is certain if you're Whitney. I have a memory like, I don't know, cotton candy or Swiss cheese. You know that raccoon that washes his cotton candy in the water and then it disappears and he's like, wait, no, what happened?
Yeah.
That's me remembering
memories.
stuff.
Yeah.
And the past. Yeah.
That's sad.
You know, it forces you to live in the present.
Silver linings. I like it. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm a half full kind of guy, so
Exactly.
I'm looking for the silver linings and stuff. So there you go.
All right,
Let's
let's wrap this up.
Lindsey, thank you for joining us. You're our first guest. Love having you here. Can you tell people where they could find and follow you on the internet?
Absolutely. You can find me on Twitter at Lindsey Nelsen, Nelsen, and on Instagram at Lindsey Cameron Nelson. Instagram is 79% gelato or food pictures. And my podcast is Historical Hotties. So check that out if you want to hear who the biggest babes in history are.
I'm on a lot of them, but I have since let
All
Lindsay
of them
take it over
currently,
completely. Yeah. So she's taking it in a different direction. We don't know what direction it is yet. So listen to
That
Historical
direction
Hotties.
is being workshopped. Yeah.
Nice. Find it as you go.
Yes. But currently you will find me on all of the Historical Hotties as well. I am on Twitter at Whitney_Nelson, Nelsen, and I am on Instagram at Whitney Nelson with no underscore. Follow me on Instagram if you not only want to see mostly pictures of my dog, but also I'm getting a cat tomorrow.
Oh, damn.
I'm getting a 7-month-old kitten named Lentil, And she looks like she stuck her nose in a mustard jar. She's got a little like mustache that's sort of like a yellow brown when all the rest of her is black and white. She's just got a little like mustardy mustache. And so I'm sure there will be a lot of pictures of her too.
Do that.
So if you weren't a cat person, or if you weren't a dog person and you didn't care about pictures of Buddy, but you maybe are interested in pictures of Lentil, I am very shortly going to be barraging Instagram with pictures of Lentil the cat.
We are still going to figure out the Instagram star situation for your pets as well. So maybe we lump them all into one account or something. I don't know. We'll workshop that as well.
Now that I'm getting a cat in addition to the dog, I think I might just keep it all as me. Just find me for my pets.
There you go. See? This is a public service that Whitney does.
Where can we find you on the internet?
I am at Dark Driving everywhere. Check me out, Twitter, Instagram, and Skillshare if you happen to sign up that way. So, yeah, would love to see you all there. So, let me go ahead and press this button. Oh, man. So good. So good. Thank you all for joining us. And in the immortal words of Jack Burton, sit tight, hold the fort, and keep the home fires burning.